We'll be joined by Carl Edwards, driver of the number 19 Stanley Toyota. Carl has 2 wins and 12 top 10 finishes and 22 starts here at Phoenix. Carl, you've had some success here in the past. What's it going to take to find victory lane this week and punch that ticket to Homestead Miami Speedway next week?
Well, I love this place. It's really fun track. Car was fast in practice, so we just got to keep working, keep moving forward. And for me personally, I don't think there's a better track to come to have the pressure on us and to have to perform. We've done really well here. But I mean, we've only had one practice session, but it appears we've made some gains from the spring, and there is some speed there, so it's exciting.
All right, we'll start here with Pete, and we'll work around the room.
Pete Pistone, MRN.com, Sirius XM, NASCAR Radio. Carl, can you speak to the pressure, how it's been ramped up week in and week out, the intensity level? It seems like from where I sit, it's ramping up. Is it, and how do you guys deal with it?
Well, I mean, I think that's one of the most. This part of the season is the most fun part of the season for myself, because you get an opportunity to go win a championship, and with that comes pressure. But that's what makes it neat. I mean, you get to race against the best drivers in the world at their best, under all of this pressure, under this this format. And I was looking out in the garage today, and it's crazy to think that you look at the cars lined up there in the garage, and four of us are going to have a chance, and 4 of us aren't. Next week, and it's just I don't know. I think it's fun, but I do think it's interesting to watch how everyone responds to the pressure. Even the pit crew members and the crew chiefs, the drivers, everyone. It's it's intense. Every pit stop matters. Every restart matters. Qualifying is important. You can't have any mistakes.
What about you personally? Are you internally, or is it
it's fun. I mean, there are 2 sides of it. I sit there and I think, man, this, I've got to do well. I can't mess this up. I got to really do a good job in qualifying. I got to give them good feedback. And then the other part's sitting there in the car before they let us go out to practice. It's like, man, this is so cool. I'm sitting here with an opportunity to go out here and perform at this race and to have a shot to win the championship. So I think it's not the word I use to, if I had to describe the feeling for me, it's not really pressure. It's not. It's excitement. It's exciting to be a part of it, and it's cool to think they're going to drop the green flag and we're just going to go race, and whatever happens. I mean, that's a lot of fun for me.
We'll go to Bob in the back, and then Tom up here front.
Bob Pocker, ESPN. Last year you came in here kind of 1 point off the cutoff. Now you come in here this year 7. Is there much of a different either approach or a different outlook? Do you look at this as a must-win or not?
I was thinking about last year, and I couldn't remember the points, but I remember thinking we just weren't very fast last year at this race. We tried hard, and we gave it all we got, but we didn't have much speed. This year feels a little different to me for a couple of reasons. I feel like our team is gaining ground. We're fast. We're super fast pit crew. I feel like from a strategy standpoint, Darian does such a good job. I feel like we have an opportunity there. But then the other side of it is it feels like the competition is tougher. It just feels like everybody's closer. It's more knife edge. Everyone has figured out this format, and they're working every possible angle on pit road and on the restarts and qualifying, pit selection. I mean, it's just everybody's just – I think it's just closer competition. So I'd say it's going to be tougher this year overall, but I believe we have a little more speed, so hopefully that'll work out for us.
Hi, Carl. Tom Jensen, FoxSports.com. You drive for Joe Gibbs Racing, one of 3 teams with 2 drivers each in this. Is there anything team-wise you guys can do to increase the odds of both you getting in, or is it every man for himself now?
I mean, once the race starts, it's every man for himself. We're racing all of the guys that we have to race. I guess there's 6 of them, that we've got to race here this weekend to beat to make it in. And but I will say that throughout this whole season, I've just been amazed at how well everyone works together, especially the drivers at JGR, and that there have been no issues. Nothing got any bigger than just discussions about how we race one another and sharing information, all that. Just been really positive, and I hope that stays the same way. I hope Kyle and I both make it. It'd be really fun to race him at Homestead. But like I said, once we get out there and race on Sunday, it's every man for himself.
Kenny Bruce with NASCAR.com. Carl, you were the last Sprint Cup driver not named Kevin Harvick, I think, to win here. Do you remember that win? And also, people have been talking about how he's unbeatable here. I mean, how do you guys look at the 4 team, and are they the competition?
Those guys are definitely fast here. And that's we'll see how it goes tomorrow. But it appears they were really fast here, in this first practice. But this sport changes. Everybody works, and you never know what's going to happen. The other thing that can happen here is it can become a real strategy race at the end, and so. It has been pretty spectacular, that 4 team, and those guys have been able to do what they've done. It is such a tough race to win. I can attest to that. And to win, I guess, is it 5 out of the last 6? I mean, that's spectacular. So yeah, I'd say if we could beat those guys, we'll be all right.
Go over here, and then we'll go to Dustin.
Similar to what Bob said, do you think you can point your way into this race with...
Well, I mean, that's how it's determined, right? Whoever scores the most points, but... We feel like, I mean, really, if you look at the scenarios, we've really got to perform here. I mean, we have to win this race. That's our mission. We've got to qualify well. We've got to make good decisions, and really, we've got to have some speed. So we're approaching this race as a must-win race. That's the only way to guarantee our spot. If one of the guys behind us leapfrogs us and wins, I mean, it's going to be a tall order to advance. So we just have to give it all we got.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. When you guys were last here, no Toyota finished better than you in 13th. Denny Hamlin was quite outspoken about the cars. He says we sucked, and you talk a little bit about the speed. What's different now? Even in this one practice session from then, what do you feel like you're able to do a little bit more on the track that you weren't able to do that could help you come Sunday?
Well, speed fixes everything, right? I mean, if you got a fast race car, it makes everything a lot easier. There are some things we've worked on, without getting into specifics. I believe we have faster cars, and so that's good. We understand a little bit after the spring. It was frustrating enough. We really understood where we lost ground and where we were struggling, so we've worked on all of those things. But I don't know why, for some reason, as an organization, this place, they've had a lot of, JGR has had a lot of trouble here recently, but in a way, it's probably good we ran that poorly in the spring because it really brought everybody's focus around. And I mean, heck, it's only one practice session, but we had some speed out there, and I feel like that's a big step forward.
We'll go up front right here, and then Wolfgang.
Dominic Uttego on the raceexperts.com. Carl, just to kind of build off that, based on your practice speeds, how confident are you guys to could sit on the pole today?
I feel like this track changes a lot. You don't really know how your balance is going to be in qualifying, but I think we're 4th or something at the end. I don't know if anybody beat us there, but I feel like the car's got a lot of speed in it, and if I do my job right, we're guessing a little bit at some changes. If we get that right, then definitely we can get the pole. Thanks. I quit looking I was pretty happy at 4th, so I quit looking before it was over. But yeah, we ran a 25:45, and Jimmy ran a 25:38. I don't know how fast it'll be once it cools off, but man, this place is just touchy. You just got to get a perfect lap. So I'm glad we're there and not in the back half. I feel like we got a shot at it.
Wolfgang?
Wolfgang Munzer from Germany, Rennsport Press Agency. I think, Carl, NASCAR racing is very similar to any kind of other championship. You do ongoing developments from the very first race in Daytona until the season end. What's the biggest improvement technically the Camry has done, in your opinion?
The biggest improvement of our team?
Yes, I mean, technically, on the technical side.
They don't allow me to talk about technical things with you guys. In fact, I don't think they share a lot of them with me, to be honest with you. But overall, we've gained a lot. I mean, as a group, if you look at what TRD has done, what Joe Gibbs Racing has done, the way they work together, Joe Gibbs' leadership. I think one of you guys pointed out the stats. The first 15 races versus our last 15 races, I mean, it's a completely different team, completely different results, and so I'm just proud of how everybody moves forward. It's it's crazy to watch a group of people be able to push forward and to overcome problems as well as JGR does. So I think we just got good things to look forward to. I mean, if you look at, if we do well here, I'm telling you, Homestead, I really think is going to be awesome. I think, Texas, Kyle and I finished, I believe, 4th and 5th. We made improvements. Homestead plays into our hands better. I mean, if we can get through this and possibly get a win or advance through the points, I feel really good. And I don't know that it's just one technical thing, to answer your question. I think it's overall as a group just making better cars and working well together, and then Darian and I working together and getting to know each other. If you step back and look at it, 4th team is a huge undertaking. A lot of people have made this work out. If we can, I think overall it's been huge improvements in a number of areas.
Do we have any additional questions for Carl? We'll go in the back right here.
Carl, this Tuesday night you're going to be on Chicago Fire. Talk about that experience, and do you have some other acting gigs that's going to be coming up in the near future?
So I guess I was on something last night. I don't know if was that. I got some texts. My buddy's making fun of me, so I don't know what exactly was on television last night. I was flying, but yeah, Chicago Fire was a lot of fun. Those guys are great. It was really neat to do that. NASCAR has set up a couple of things like that. They've been a lot of fun, and I've enjoyed them. It's something so different. It's really a good time.
Right back here.
Hey, Carl, Stan Creekmore with RPMTonight.com. To expand a little bit on your crew chief, where does he rank in all the different crew chiefs you've had over your career?
I've had a lot of crew chiefs, and I don't know that I've ever had a guy better than Darian on the box. He just has he has a real sense of what's happening in the race, and it's amazing. It's amazing how especially towards the end of the event, he always makes the call that is the best call. And I don't know if he does it with I don't know if he has stats he goes through, or if he has if he writes it out, or if it just is in his gut. He just got a really good sense, and I think that's, in this day and age, the way the sport is, how tough it is to get track position. That's invaluable having him up there.
Any additional questions? All right, Carl. Good luck on Sunday.
All right, have fun.